I don't have friends. I have family. My family next to me today.
Brian Lee, to my left.
Bran Bran.
To my right.
It's really.
We need clever initials for ourselves. So there's like DK.
Yeah, Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Drift King, man. Come on.
I preferred Donkey Kong.
You could be DQ.
DQ.
Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
For people who are not familiar with this series,
That's the one.
we have been covering. We have already watched Fast and Furious 1 and 2. And we're going through the whole Fast and Furious saga because I watched all the movies. I have loved all the movies. And then recently found out that Brian and Bran Bran have not seen any of the movies. So we are going back and watching them all in order that they came out.
Yes.
So yeah, today was Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yep.
Bran, do you recommend Tokyo Drift?
I do not recommend Tokyo Drift. It was like nothing like the first two. I mean, had cars, but
Did have cars.
yeah, it was. Yeah, we'll get into it.
Okay. Brian, do you recommend Tokyo Drift? Brian, the person who does not like Vin Diesel, a movie that has no Vin Diesel. What do you think of Tokyo Drift?
I love no, I don't, and mainly because why is it even called Fast and Furious?
Okay, we can get into that.
Yeah.
I recommend all the Fast and Furious movies, but this is like basically the second and the third one are the ones that I watched the least.
The high
Zachary
school.
Ty Bryan from Home Improvement.
Yeah, I was gonna say that high school. Like that was not high school. Like
Okay,
our high school was not like.
right. I didn't know how old anyone was.
Yeah. Yes.
Especially the main character.
Well, the main character looked like he was 11, and then
I thought he looked older.
Home Improvement was about 35.
Right.
Like,
So-
it was the disparity between all of them. It was just crazy.
So that's kind of like a ongoing joke is that he looks super old. At the time of filming, he was 24.
he didn't look it.
Yes, so it's.
I think it's the haircut.
It might be. It's
Wow.
almost like a Zuckerberg level of like straight down. Like it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
One of your gripes with the earlier movies was that it was too import heavy, not enough American muscle.
Right.
And this starts with a 1971 Monte Carlo versus a Viper.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Better.
It was nice.
I'll take it.
It was nice. Like
Yeah. But you know, it's not the ride. It's the ride.
it's true.
What's that mean?
He
He said that 3 minutes.
It's not the ride. It's the rider.
Like,
No, it's not the ride. It's the rider.
I'm like, you just said the same thing twice.
That's
But that brings up an excellent point. Rewatching this, because like I said, I've seen this before, did not remember how thick his accent is.
Terrible.
Well, and it's so funny because like,
Terrible.
and then he goes to Japan.
Oh my god.
It's like you pick that.
Well, why don't we find out where Kabuki lives?
right. Exactly. Do some karaoke. Well, okay.
What were the shoes?
Wabaki or whatever.
Yeah, Wabaki. Like, oh my god, just chewing on the language. So like he shows up, you know, to high school there, and it's his like first day at a new school, right?
Yeah.
Are we talking about in Tokyo? Or
No. Where he's facing
in
off
California.
with Zachary Ty Bryan.
Not his first day, but it sounds like he keeps getting into trouble, so he keeps
They kept
moving
moving.
around.
It sounded like they like had to keep moving from the south, and they had to move to the west coast just because he's a bad boy.
Right. When he's hitting on Zachary Ty Bryan's girlfriend, you know, he shows up. He's like, you know, basically like ripping on his car. And then he like throws something through
Baseball.
What, Sean? Well, I can't remember. Sean.
Yeah.
So he throws like a baseball through Sean's back windshield.
Yes.
And immediately, like the whole school, like, is like, "Oh!" And like a huge crowd gathers. And then it's like, we got to sell it on the streets or whatever that they fucking say in every fucking movie. Yeah. And then Kid Rock plays during the fucking race.
Yes, it seems absurd, but I think, especially like at a small school like Central, like if someone like broke someone else's window, like people would like come out for that.
But like even people like from inside the building, like I mean, just like there were so many people that showed up.
I think it's because how fast it was.
Yes,
And furious.
It was,
Yeah.
exactly. He was pretty. Ouch. He was pretty furious. It didn't hurt. I don't know why I said ouch. He was practicing. I did like the race though. It wasn't bad.
It was all right.
It was probably
when they're racing through like the subdivision that they're building.
I didn't mind it too much.
What I didn't understand, and again, I didn't realize until rewatching it, but so they're racing, but that pickup truck full of people is keeping up with them.
Yeah.
So it's like, they can't be racing that fast.
Right. Yeah.
So first off, I don't know how Zachary Ty Bryan and the girlfriend aren't dead.
Oh, yeah.
Because they
Right.
crashed into that concrete fucking thing.
Yeah.
But then when the main character, when his car's spinning, I like the Tabasco bottle that's
I didn't notice
like
that.
floating in the air.
That's
Yeah,
great. That's pretty great.
pretty awesome. When this is all, first off, I wish Zachary Ty Bryan was in it more. For some reason, I don't know.
I know. The same feeling. I don't know why.
Because he's so hateable.
Exactly. I wanted to see him more. I didn't want him to speak though. I just was
Right.
like, oh,
But-
this guy, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Would you like a high school based movie more than what this is? Because I agree, like Tokyo Drift again,
feel
compared to the
like
other movies, not good.
It might have. It would have been. It probably would have been a worse movie, but I feel like it would have been super bad, like terrible.
Almost like,
and it would have held my attention more.
yeah, maybe it'd be similar to like Step Up or whatever,
Right,
like one of
yeah.
those like
The stomp
movies.
in the yard.
What the hell are they doing?
They're stomping the yard.
I liked how it was like when it happened. Like, they're in their police station,
Right.
Like it was very like almost like by the book. Like, that's how it would have happened. Like Zachary Ty Bryan
right.
would have gotten away with it because they were the rich
Right,
ones. He
right.
would have gotten, but so I liked that part of it. That it wasn't like, oh, you boys will be boys type
Right.
thing. But like, so they deport him because he's bad.
That's so funny too, because I'm like, how's this movie gonna end up in Tokyo? And then he's like, are we moving again? And the mom's like, no, we. Ting, 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 stuck there.
So the dad is like, is he a piece of garbage?
I was gonna ask you, how do we feel about the dad?
At first, I thought he was, but then.
A piece of garbage?
Yeah, I thought he was because when he shows up, he's supposed to meet his kid at the airport. He's not there. The kid finds his way to the dad's house. He's entertaining a lady friend. Well, it's fine. But, if your kid's coming, maybe you should be aware of this fact.
Maybe do that in a different day.
I don't
He didn't know
want
what
to
day it
hear.
was.
I don't want to hear it.
No, because he's
It's
like,
not-
because he's like, I thought you were showing up on the 7. He's like, today is the 7.
Right. I know that, but like, it's not like it was 1982. Like, well, I'm saying that the technology's there to like keep track of what the
we're
date
still
is.
in flip phone era.
That is true. That is true.
How do we feel about Bow Wow?
I don't like how Sean Boswell shortens his name to Twink.
Yeah.
That's a little
I
weird.
like that. That's funny. Yeah, I didn't realize he wasn't as bad as I thought he was going to be. But his I'm gonna sell and make money thing got old real quick.
They should have recast that role as Morgan Freeman from Shawshank.
Yes. yeah.
See, I was thinking John Candy from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
yeah.
Oh, dude, if someone could intersplice that scene from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with like any like Fast and the Furious movie.
Joker wants to race.
But yeah, and then that's where we meet DK.
One thing I didn't like, choice-wise as an actor, is that obviously he's the villain.
Yeah.
But his go-to villain move was looking through his eyebrows. I don't think you should.
Yeah.
wasn't a very good idea.
Yeah.
We get it.
Right.
And throughout the movie, he stands very close to people.
Yes.
Kissing distance to
Yeah.
people.
It seemed like a lot of them did.
Different culture, dude.
I'm American.
Han?
Han, yes. The one guy I like I liked him. I thought he was very good in this.
Except for the whole when they keep showing him eating stuff, I'm like, okay.
That's his gimmick, man. That's his gimmick. Eating
It's like the
food.
detective from the Lifetime movie who's always eating popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was
So,
Long Island Murders? that
yeah,
what-
maybe.
Yes.
Check out a review of Long Island Murders. Not good.
yeah. No, the review's great.
Yes.
So Bow Wow, they beat him up, or he gets beat up because he sold.
Yeah, an iPod.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, sign of the times.
Yeah, so. But he saves them.
In that scene, so they're like fighting on a roof of the school. It's like 49 minutes in.
Yeah.
The guy who's beating him up, what's with that spit move that he did?
Yeah. Well, that and continues the Fast and Furious trend of there's a main villain, and then his like right hand man is very like effeminate.
Yes.
Yeah.
In that same scene, he takes off his uniform and has a sleeveless, like cut off pink T-shirt. It's
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He keeps adjusting his suspenders.
Yeah. I like suspenders.
They're all right. So in Sean's first race, he can't drift. That's the whole thing. So in Tokyo, they're all about drifting.
Yeah.
Hence the movie name, Tokyo Drift. So he's crashing into shit, and like the big, I guess a big part of this movie is like montages of him like learning to drift and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like once he learns to drift, like they kind of gloss over his first win.
Yeah. It's very quick. It's a very quick.
Like, isn't he facing that?
Yeah. Right. And I'm just like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
It shows everyone celebrating. It's like,
Right.
oh, that's
that was about it, right? But we forgot Bow Wow's car.
Oh, the
yeah.
Hulk car.
It was.
that might be one of the worst cars in the series.
It's like the punch out of the car, like that's what ruined it. If it was maybe an indent,
Right.
it would have been better. But just like the 3D effect, it looked really.
It looked
stupid.
like that's where the spare tire was supposed to be.
It was
but
just it was really that was dumb. That was really dumb.
The drifting date about an hour in. How do we feel about that?
Oh, through the mountains?
Yes.
The fact that it was a date, whatever.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that they did show drifting through the mountains. Because like that is kind of how drifting started.
Yeah, it's what they
In
said.
Japan.
Like, yeah,
So-
they were saying. Yeah.
So I like the fact that there was drifting on mountains, but the fact the day it's like
But yeah, it's like romantic music, and like
Yeah.
they're talking very calmly to each
Yeah.
other. It's a bunch of cars like,
while tires are squealing.
Yeah.
I mean, it may as well have been figure skating. It's just like, that's fucking crazy.
Well, when DK is chasing them, Han and Sean and whatever, what did you think about that scene? It's also the one that includes like them drifting through the crowd. What did you think about that when they're like swerving through traffic and all that?
When they did the drift through the crowd of the intersection, that kind of like, okay, maybe that's a little too much. Just because it just seemed like
They're very organized in Japan.
that is very true. That is very true. Maybe they're used to it. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I enjoyed it, but it almost seemed it was almost over the top.
I did
Almost.
not think they were going to kill. Spoilers. I didn't think they were going to kill off Han.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, because a couple times it looked like he was going to get away.
Right.
When like I said, I liked him. I thought he was really throughout it. He seemed like he was almost the instead of the main character being the glue that held everybody together, like he was the person that held. So once he died, it was kind of like, well, why are you guys even together now?
Yes.
as
And
a group?
speaking of Han, DK and Han are working together.
Right.
Yeah.
They get money just from the businesses on their turf. Is that what's happening?
That's what it seems like.
Basically, because
I didn't understand what they were making money from.
I
to be honest
assumed
with
it was
you.
just like cliche, like the businesses.
time to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
Well, protection,
Yeah.
basically.
Right.
So, but yeah, because when they're like, oh, Han is like, stealing money, I was like, how are they making money? Like, how is this happening?
Right.
So-
Well, it seemed like Han was like the head, not the head person, but the one that like got the other kid into it. But then because the villain, his dad was his uncle was Yakuza. It was like he's like, no, I'm actually the one, so I'm gonna fight Han now, even though like Han was the one that got him into it in the first place. I was a little confused about how it it all was.
How I understood it was that the uncle who was actually Yakuza had like a turf, like certain businesses would pay him for protection, but obviously like it's super important Yakuza guy, he doesn't actually have to do that, so he made his nephew kind of in charge of collecting money.
Okay.
And then I assume DK and Han were friends from before, so they just kind of did it together.
Yeah.
With their
Yeah.
ragtag bunch of groups,
Right.
and then Han was stealing money.
Yeah. Well, even Han was like, didn't he call him? He's kind of like a small potatoes too, right? Do you remember that? Like how
Yeah,
he was
because I mean,
saying-
DK isn't in the Yakuza.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. At an hour 25, that when they were building that car, that montage, I liked that.
I was just about to ask, what did you guys think about that car? So it's a Nissan Skyline engine and a fastback Mustang.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What do you guys think about that?
I like that.
I didn't mind it because it's just like, and like they're continually like tweaking it to where like okay you can fucking drift with this fucking muscle car. So like I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
I don't understand how an hour and 21 minutes into the movie he's been in Japan for, we'll say, a couple weeks.
Yeah,
and he knows Japan, like just fucking Japanese, like just
He was like, "Oh, I'll go talk to Yakuza. Who cares?" It's like it was like
right.
I mean, he was giving them a bag full of money. Like,
I guess.
Anyone would listen to that.
I guess so.
Quick couple things. So, hour 30, the big race on the mountains.
Yes.
Everyone's watching, but they're watching on their phones.
I was confused about that.
Yeah, did you like?
It's so doable now, like with Twitch and stuff. Like you could have cameras in like multiple angles.
Yeah.
But how they're doing the movie, it's like, were they just recording it, or were they sending the video, or like you said, flip phones nighttime that would look like
there's
garbage
no way.
anyway.
Yeah, they were just looking at like a blurry black screen.
What fucking killed me is, so they're racing a fucking DK. He falls off a cliff, and all these people start cheering, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, I know
someone died.
Right? I'm like, "Holy shit!" So like that was insane to me.
Yeah.
So fucking Sean wins the race. Whatever, he gets the girl, and then at the end, they're all hanging out in their garage.
Yes.
And they're like, some guy, what? Like, they're like, oh, some guy wants to race or something like that.
Friend of Hans.
Yeah, a friend of Hans. Just when I thought I was in the fucking clear. Fucking Vin Diesel is it.
That I was like, I'm fine with this.
Why?
I was fine because I knew he was in the other movies. I knew he was I'm just like, there has to be a way they're going to have to bring him back somehow. I kind of like had myself ready for it, and I don't mind Vin Diesel. I
know you like him. So does Stanley. I know.
So see, I was just like, oh look, he's there.
Pretty much.
And then I was like, I feel.
Oh my god! When I heard supposedly he used to shop at the fucking Starbucks in St. Charles back in the day, that was always the rumor.
Is he from Illinois?
I don't know.
Maybe he
I don't
just
know if
likes that particular Starbucks.
I think he had.
He would fly in just to the Starbucks.
Yes, sir, Mr. Diesel.
2 pumps of sugar, 1 pump of octane. I drink my coffee a quarter cup at a time.
I want that shirt.
I don't know. But yeah, the fact that he fucking showed up at the end, and and I guess he did know Han. You know.
So at the beginning, you both didn't recommend this, right?
Right.
So what would you say is like your biggest gripes with the movie?
It doesn't seem to fit. Mm-hmm. The first two like kind of flowed, like the first one to the second, but then this one kind of like, oh, here's just, we're gonna call it Fast and the Furious, but it really has nothing to do with except for the last 2 minutes where you see Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
So
now, do you feel that way because Paul Walker is not in it?
no, because it really has nothing to do with the first two. Yeah, maybe in the fifth or sixth, there's more of a tie-in, and it'll explain more to be like, oh, okay, now I like it, I understand it. But right now, I just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mediocre movie.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that it has nothing to do with the other movies aside from like that ending like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's my biggest gripe.
yeah. To me, this seemed like it was geared way more towards high school age kids than like maybe the 20-30 crowd. Like the first two, sure, high school.
They should have just called it Tokyo Drift. That's it.
Yeah, that would have been.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What about Fast and Furious presents Tokyo Drift?
But then you're still tying it to something.
Back to the world, yeah. So it's almost like it's an outlier.
Yes.
It's like there wasn't enough happening in the U.S. with Vin Diesel and the whole group that they needed to go to Japan, and then that was their thing that happened during that time, and then Vin Diesel is back.
I wonder how much he got paid for that cameo.
Ooh, that's a good
I'm
question.
sure it was a nice. Nice amount. Wasn't he getting like producer credits on this stuff now? Like he's
I mean, he's definitely is very involved with the series in general.
He gets involved with a lot of his stuff that he does.
A little bit of trivia. So the writer, Chris Morgan, he originally pitched Tokyo Drift as Vin Diesel in Tokyo, learning to drift and solving a murder.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, Bran Bran, you might find this interesting. Following poor test screenings of The Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Vin Diesel agreed to make a cameo in the film in exchange for Universal's ownership to rights of the Riddick series.
Oh.
That's how we. Wow. Yeah, because he, from what I remember, like the Riddick thing, like, he was writing something like that was his baby, or he wrote some part of it, like maybe later on. But like he loves that. Like that's.
I have the feeling that's how he is with most of his movies.
Yeah,
like Fast and Furious, Riddick, and Bloodshot he made recently. It seems like when he does a movie, he's like all in.
Yeah, especially with the later Ricks. Like he was fighting the studios to make the last movie because he's like he wanted to finish it. It was
Yeah.
So you guys still don't recommend it, correct?
Correct.
Again and again, I recommend the whole series, but yeah, this is the one one of them that I watched the least. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yes. Good journey.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, tell a friend.